Disney's live-action Snow White was supposed to bring back the magic. Instead, it became a headline-making disaster. And now, Disney's CEO Bob Iger is finally breaking his silence. What he's revealing confirms what many fans feared from the very beginning. This remake was doomed from the start, and wokeness may have sealed its fate. In the next 5 minutes, we'll break down how everything went so wrong, how much money Disney lost, the Rachel Zegler controversy, the shocking rewrites that alienated millions, and Bob Iger's stunning admission that might change Disney forever. So stick around, because the truth behind this box office nightmare is even darker than you think. First, let's talk numbers, because when a movie costs $250 million to produce before marketing, you expect a global blockbuster. But Snow White? It never even stood a chance. Disney reportedly spent tens of millions on rewrites, reshoots, and digital effects, desperately trying to fix scenes that were already testing poorly. Then came the marketing, or rather, the lack of it. Insiders say Disney was trying to quietly push the film out, hoping to avoid even more backlash. And the results? Disastrous. Analysts predict a loss of over $200 million, one of Disney's biggest flops in years. But the money wasn't the only problem, because if there's one name that became the face of this controversy, it's Rachel Zegler. From the moment she was cast, fans were divided. Some were excited, but others immediately questioned why Disney was changing the classic Snow White image. And then she started talking. In multiple interviews, Zegler mocked the original 1937 film. She called the prince weird and a stalker. She laughed at the idea of true love. And she proudly declared, "This Snow White will be a leader, and she doesn't need a man." Fans were outraged. Clips of her interviews went viral. Hashtags like #NotMySnowWhite and #FireRachelZegler began trending. And instead of apologizing, Zegler doubled down, saying critics were just misogynistic. But was that really the issue? Or was it something deeper? Because here's the real reason Snow White failed. Disney ripped out the heart of the original story and replaced it with something completely unrecognizable. The prince? Gone. The romance? Erased. The classic fairy tale message of love, kindness, and innocence? Rewritten into a story about power, independence, and vague leadership. And the dwarfs? One of the most beloved parts of the original? Gone. Replaced with a group of magical creatures that had no connection, no backstory, and no emotional weight. Fans saw this for what it was. Disney wasn't modernizing the story, they were erasing it. They weren't adding diversity, they were forcing it in ways that felt unnatural. And the backlash was instant. Merchandise sales collapsed. Test screenings were brutal. Even Disney's own executives warned this would backfire, but they pushed ahead anyway. And now, after months of silence, Disney's CEO Bob Iger has finally spoken. In a recent earnings call, he made a shocking admission. Disney had been too aggressive in reshaping its content around modern messaging. Without naming Snow White directly, he admitted that recent films had strayed too far from what audiences actually wanted and that Disney needed to refocus on quality storytelling over ideology. For many, this was a turning point. It wasn't just YouTubers or critics saying Disney had lost its way, it was the CEO himself. And now, insiders say major changes are coming. But is it too late? Can Disney really rebuild trust after years of alienating its core audience? Or has the damage already been done? One thing is certain, Snow White wasn't just a failed remake. It was a warning. A $250 million lesson in what happens when a studio stops listening to its fans. Do you think Disney will finally change? Or is this just another empty promise? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of Hollywood's biggest controversies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.